Hello, friends. That was your music for Wednesday, March 18th from Minnesota composer Edie Hill. This was two movements of her work, Rückblick, which is 4 movements in total, but I thought I'd share 2 with you today. I had a great surprise when I found out that yesterday's piece by Jocelyn Hagan and today's piece by Edie Hill were actually part of the same project commissioned by pianist Anne Duhamel in Minnesota for a CD comprising works inspired by Brahms. So I found them independently just by searching their websites and things like that. And I said, oh, what a great connection. These pieces were both inspired by Brahms. I'm going to put them back to back. And little did I know they were actually from the same project. But nevertheless, this is a wonderful pairing. We heard variations on a theme of Brahms yesterday. And here is the word Rückblick, which in German means looking back. And so kind of looking back to those great romantic composers and how we might see them through the lens of today. We'll talk to composer Edie Hill in just a minute, but I want to thank Classy Closet for my wardrobe today. And I also want to remind you that there is a closing concert coming up on Sunday, March 29th. You can vote for which pieces I would like to play at my page on Buy Me a Coffee, which is in the notes below. I also want to say that at long last, we are transitioning towards spring. Here in Chicago, it is a rough transition. There is still snow on the ground and things like that. But starting tomorrow, there'll be a little mini-series of music about spring and related to spring as we make this great transition. I will see you tomorrow. Let's talk to Edie Hill.
I was born in New York.
Okay.
But I've lived here since 1985, and I love it.
Mhm.
I feel like a Minnesotan.
I think, yeah, being there since 1985 definitely qualifies you.
Counts.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
In college, I majored in piano performance and composition.
At what point did you transition, to only focusing on your composing?
Well, they were pretty merged for a while,
Mhm.
because I played by ear, and I played by ear. Well, I've always played by ear, but in up until college, I did I was making up um, uh, pieces in my head and keeping them there or on tape. And I finally learned how to notate music in college. Yeah.
Cool. Where did you go to school?
Um, I went to college in Bennington, Vermont,
Okay.
and then I moved out here and went to the University of Minnesota,
Okay.
and I stayed.
All right. So we have that in common. I also went to
Yeah.
the U of M, yeah, and then I stayed there for about 5 years before I left. Yeah.
hmm
And who did you study composition with at the U of M?
Um, Mostly Lloyd Alten. I studied a little bit with Judith Langzamont.
Okay.
Well, Rückblick means a backward glance, and that title is taken from the uh, the intermezzo that is in the third sonata, Brahms' third piano sonata, which is an intermezzo, and he wrote that at the beginning of his career. And then the other piece that I um, uh, uses a point of departure is an intermezzo that he wrote, is Opus 119 number 1, which he wrote towards the end of his career. So they act as bookends for the piece. And I love the idea of having bookends, and then I love the idea of a backward glance, and then a backward glance, and then a look ahead, and then just playing with ideas of time. So the first movement is kind of of has a foreboding feeling, and I think the third sonata does in places too.
Mhm.
Um, uh, and a look ahead, I was feeling a sense of foreboding. So that's what that movement is about. And then the second, after Claire, Memento after Claire's Great Pearl,
Mhm.
has a lot of the intermezzo, um, uh, 119 number 1 recollection in it.
Mhm. What are you working on these days?
I have a piece for Cantus down the line, and then uh, a song cycle I have brewing, and I've been editing a lot of older pieces, just
Mm-hmm.
getting them up to snuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Me too, actually. How do you think about like your trajectory throughout your life as a composer?
Oh wow. Um, well, I want to keep working. um, I I think I've gone from piece to piece, and each one sparks a new area of fascination, and I'll just follow that. Um, uh, a last big piece 30-minute piece that I wrote was for the crossing in Philadelphia,
Mm-hmm.
and it was about extinct birds. So I'm on a bird bent, and I have been for a long time, but really I found a bunch of poetry through that collaboration, and I've just followed all of those leads, which I found poetry by a biologist poet, and I love her work. And then I found, you know, I feel like I'm on a treasure hunt all the time, and I just follow the leads. And so I just want to stay um, in that world and follow the treasures.
That's amazing. I love
So
that analogy.